We want to go to Ed Willing now. And I'm sorry I cut off Joe there. God bless America. Hey, Ed, how you doing tonight?
Yes, I'm doing pretty good, Clint. How are you?
I'm doing great. Nice talking to you for the first time on the phone here.
Absolutely. Kind of crazy. The first time we speak is on the air.
All right. Well, great. Well, Ed was a great Perry supporter, just like myself, and we defended Perry. But just like others, we put the differences aside, and we support Mitt Romney for the office of President of the United States. Ed, what's going on tonight?
Well, I've just been keeping busy with trying to carry on the message that Perry himself said is bigger than any one man, bigger than a man like Rick Perry or a Mitt Romney or, for crying out loud, a John Roberts. You can put all of your trust in one man, but it is the vision that needs to be in the hearts of the people, and I try to fight for that every day. I don't consider it a noble cause, but it's something that I'm excited about, and it's kept me busy since I've been off the campaign.
Well, tell me a little bit. You have a page on Facebook, and people should go to that page. What's that page? It's Founders. What is that page?
The Facebook site is facebook.com/Founders Intent. Just the straight up word, no dashes, no slashes, nothing. Just Founders Intent, and then foundersintent.org as well. You can connect to everything: Twitter, Facebook, and the regular .org site from everywhere else. They always interconnect.
And you have some really great scholars on that page, I've noticed and everything. But this would be my question tonight. Ed, wasn't Perry right about a lot of things? And it's like we took such hits for supporting Perry, and a lot of people seem to have a misconception of what it really takes to run a diverse state like Texas. A diverse state where you have a huge Hispanic population, you got a huge border, you got geographical challenges. What Perry did, Ed, was he represented the constituents of his state. And he's done a great job. I mean, 3 terms. You don't get reelected 3 times in Texas and have 13 years as governor. I lived there. I know.
By increasing margins, by the way. Every year it was by increasing margins.
So you have these outsiders.
His popularity was growing.
Yeah, so you have these outsiders, blowhards, okay, I think they know more about border issues than he did. They knew more about the demographics of his state than he did. They failed to understand. But that's all water on the bridge. But you know what the point I'm getting to is that, we need to win the Hispanic vote this year. And we still can win it based on economics, on prosperity. Hispanic Americans, they have the same heritage as most of us. They're good Catholics, hard workers. They care about their family. They care about their women. And we need to win them over. And some of that harsh rhetoric last year turned off a bunch. Legal or illegal, doesn't matter. It kind of turned them off. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think that the problem was that when you come from Texas, I think you're used to the brawl, and so like Perry wasn't afraid of going into the fire, but I certainly know that it's very difficult, whether it's Perry or any other leader from southern states, Jan Brewer or Arpaio. When you have a leader who is used to getting things done, they care less about the 30-second sound bites, and by the time that the rest of the world catches up with reality, because reality just keeps moving, it's the rest of the world that slows down to smell the roses and doesn't realize life still goes on. Well, by the time that they catch up, 3, 4, 5 months later, they realize, oh, yeah, they were right. When he talked about a fence being a dumb idea, he was right. When he talked about the fact that we need to seal the border first and then move on to dealing with the issues that we have, we shouldn't even be discussing about things that could be incentives to illegal aliens until we deal with the border, which is a national security issue first. They realize it later.
Well, the whole thing about the in-state tuition thing, that was 16,000 sons and daughters of illegals that instead of sitting on the side of the street, because we're not going to deport them back by law, okay, they were given incentives to go to community college. Big deal.
Yep.
While they're actively seeking citizenship. Boy, that was such an uproar. 16,000. Well, how do you like
and they weren't given free. They weren't given free tuition either. It was this regular in-state tuition, which was actually proven because of the the cost measurement of volume, it actually lowered costs for the Texas university system by $90 million by having their participation. That's not even counting the economic benefit of having 16,000 people off the government rolls and getting a government degree. Not a government, a school, college degree.
Yeah, so the whole problem there for Perry, okay, is that he got into the presidential race and went to the debates, and what he didn't understand is that there's an audience, all right, and that audience was angry at the time and wants to be heard sound bites. You know, Santorum, build a fence, or $100,000, or this and that, or even Romney or whatever. And you know what? That's the big leagues of running for president. It's not fair, all right? It doesn't seem fair.
But it's reality.
You know, it's reality. And, you know, Perry got blown up in those debates because, you know what? He was the one that actually was doing the policy. Not Santorum from Pennsylvania, not Kane, who did not govern, or Romney. All right, it was Perry, and that's why he got shot.
The substance was coming from Perry.
Yeah. So the point I'm getting to here, folks, out there, is that looking at Perry and how he governed the state of Texas, and how I supported him. I never was paid by Perry to support him. I support him because he was the governor of the 13th largest economy in the world. But my support of him was easy to transfer to Romney because I looked at Mitt Romney and I thought, well, here's a Republican that got elected to a liberal state with a unique demographic. And to get elected as a governor of a liberal state is telling me a lot right there. It means that you can win people over to your side, that you can work with people, that you can build a coalition to win. And that's why I'm so solid for Mitt Romney. It's because that's the same thing that Reagan did in California, in that state. So whether it be Perry, Reagan, or Romney, they are the right fit for building a coalition of Americans to win.
And the important thing to remember is that it doesn't matter who the individual is, whether it is Romney or Perry or if it was Reagan, who is a fantastic leader. Those people are figureheads, and they are a result of the people. They're really a symbol of who the people are. They're a consequence of who we are. And they can't change the world. The best that we can hope for is that we have a president and a Congress and a Senate that get out of the way. And I think that there are very few politicians that are willing to get out of the way. Reagan realized that government was the problem. He didn't say, like a Santorum would say, you can affect good change with good government policy. Newt Gingrich was saying the exact same thing. That's progressivism. What I love is that Perry, and I believe that Romney understands this as well, George Washington said, government is not reason, it is not eloquent, it is force. And I'll paraphrase, it always will be, no matter who is in there. Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and George Washington all understood that government, no matter who was in that position, always is converse to liberty, to individual liberty. So they needed to spread out that force as much as possible because it is what it is. Like fire, it is dangerous. It is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. So that's why Founders Intent was begun literally days afterwards, after Perry exited the race in mid-January, at the end of January, mostly by Perry supporters. There were a few lawyers there. There was a couple of doctors and other people who were very educated that just said, you know, these are very important principles we need to continue to teach the people because we cannot change the world from the top down. It needs to be from the bottom up. If we say politics is local, we can only restore the 10th by teaching people. The progressives have been unteaching us for 120 years. Okay, the
10th Amendment, now that's states' rights.
Well, it's actually about, yeah, exactly. It's reaffirming states' rights, and the Constitution as a whole gives balanced rights. It gives the federal government powers, and everything else it reserves to the states. The founders envisioned a balanced system, and it's a system that allowed governors like Rick Perry to succeed in the middle of a recession.
Right, exactly. And that's what we need to do. We need to give power back to the states.
Absolutely. Well, just to get government out of the way. I mean, even as the governor of the great state of Texas, very complicated state, 25 million people, tons of different demographics, and a lot of challenges, a lot of poverty. he actually was able to find a way to have a mixture locally where the government could help where it was necessarily needed and get out of the way where it should never be needed.
Right. So Ed,
yeah.
Do you think that Romney can fulfill those ideals?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the reality is that Romney understands what it takes for businesses to succeed, and he understands that when you have one brilliant mind in one section, it doesn't work when you're a micromanager, and that's the essence of progressivism, is micromanagement. And I mean,
nanny-statism.
Exactly. But it's also the idea of loosening accountability. Everybody should be accountable for their actions. The great Jack Welch understood that every division of his company had to be responsible for their own results, and that he couldn't micromanage them. He would just set the goals, and he would get out of the way. Even Warren Buffett, ironically, same thing. Send me a report once a year. Rick Perry tells the other 24 statewide elected offices, these are the results that we want to see. Report back to me. Same thing with Mitt Romney. When he was at Bain or any of his other companies, he understood that he needed to hire people that he could trust, put them into places of position, and take his hands off and let them succeed. If they weren't succeeding, they failed, and then replace them. But I think that he understands that, and that his instincts will take over when he's president of the United States. As long as we keep his feet to the fire, we give him a conservative Senate, he has no reason to try to be like he was the governor of Massachusetts. America is not Massachusetts. That's
right. That's what I've been trying to tell people, is that he was like Perry. Perry wasn't governor of Washington State, and Romney, wasn't the governor of Texas or Alabama or whatever else. I mean, you have to basically represent the constituents for which you serve, and then it's an art. Politics is an art. You have to be able to win, because those that don't win don't affect change. They don't affect policy. If you're sitting there talking about how things should be from your chair, you didn't win anything. You didn't run it for anything. Romney winning the election will affect change to the right, to what we want as a society, and stop the progressives and the liberal agenda and their assault on our heritage. The choice is clear, folks. Very clear. And if you think Obama's done a lot in the last 4 years, you see nothing yet. Just think what cap and trade would do. I mean, that's in the wings. Obama win means cap and trade and electric cars and all the rest of it. And won't be the American way that we used to know, and the tax on businesses and everything. I mean, that's what I fought for as a businessman and in industry, was to stop that cap and trade. Well, we stopped it. We stopped it for now, and we can only keep it stopped if we have a Republican victory in November 2012. Hey, Ed, it's been great having you on the show tonight.
Well, thank you for having me, Clint.
It's a pleasure, okay? I'll see you out there in the field, okay?
All right. Onward.
All right. Take care.